Hey, it's Anna Runyon, and thank you so much for listening to the Classy Career Girl podcast. I really just wanted to take a second, real quick. We've had so many of you guys downloading our episodes and sharing them with your friends and leaving reviews and ratings on iTunes. So, first of all, just really wanted to tell you guys we so appreciate you. Thank you for listening, and thank you for supporting us at Classy Career Girl. So, today, I'm diving into my 5 biggest failures growing my membership sites. And I created a workbook that goes along with what I'm going to talk about today. It's called The 6 Secrets to Growing a Successful Membership Site. So if you are thinking about starting a business, possibly having a membership site, you definitely want to get this free workbook that I put together for you. And you can download that at www.classycareergirl.com/membership secrets. So I often get the question of how I manage all of my programs. We got a lot of stuff going on, right? A lot of different we have 2 membership sites. We now have 9 boot camps. There's a lot of stuff going on. So here's the important key. I didn't start here, and you can't compare where I am now to where you are starting. I've been working on growing my business and learning about membership sites now for 7 years. And it has not always been pretty. There's been a lot of failures. I've given up on a lot of things. A lot of stuff just didn't work. And running a membership site is not easy. It's not for everyone, but I know it's for me. And I have known for the past 7 years that it is for me. So that's why I've worked and I've worked and I've worked on this. I've tried and I tried to build my membership sites until things finally came all together back in 2016, thanks to my incredible membership site mentor, Stu McLaren. Stu is the founder of Wishlist Member, which is a software I've been using in my business. And I use Wishlist Member for all of my online courses, and now for my membership sites, I started using Wishlist Member 7 years ago. So that's how long I've known about Stu. He's also the creator of the very best training program out there on starting and growing a profitable membership site. And I'll be sharing more soon about how he helped me create some solutions to these failures that I'm going to talk about today. But today, it's really all about the juicy stuff, the stuff that didn't work, where I went wrong, what I failed at, and what I wish I never would have done. Because to be honest, failures are the only way you grow, right? I've learned from every single failure, even though some were pretty hard to take. So let's dive into my 5 biggest failures growing my membership sites. So the first failure, which is just the one that's so clear in my head, so I had to talk about it first. My first failure was quitting my first membership site in 2014. So in March 2014, I failed. I was 6 months pregnant, and I decided that I had no choice but to quit a membership site that I had created called the Get Ahead Club. I started it back in 2013, so it was running for a year. It had 50 members. People were engaged. But I really had no problem getting guests to interview for that membership site. So I was interviewing career experts and authors, and I was holding 2 interviews a month. But people were still leaving the membership, and people were also coming in. So I was at a steady place, right? But I wasn't growing. I was plateauing. And the price to become a member was only $15 per month. So let's do the math. I was making $750 per month, which is a great side income. I still had my day job, but I wanted to quit my job so badly. And I wanted to be at home with my baby. I was about to have a baby in a couple months. I wanted to watch her grow. I've been trying really hard to get pregnant, and I finally was pregnant. And so I knew that I needed a change in my life, and I wanted to stay home and grow my business. And I really worked too damn hard on my blog for 6 years, creating my future vision for myself to go back to that job after maternity leave. And that's really how I felt. And I had to figure something out. And $750 per month was just not going to cut it. So my husband thought I was crazy to quit something he viewed that as passive income. This was a membership site. It was far from passive, though. I was stressed keeping that membership together. I was coordinating the guest calls. I was handling all the member questions, and I was handling the credit card payments that didn't work and all that crazy stuff and the emails. and the administrative nightmare that comes with managing a membership site as it's growing and changing. So someone didn't have access to a level they were supposed to have access to, and I had to fix that. I went into Wishlist Member to fix that. Someone else needed to change their credit card, while also I was still planning the content that was going to be on the membership site for the members the next week. So right now, I don't know if you're overwhelmed, but I'm overwhelmed just talking about all this stuff that I was trying to handle by myself. So I just couldn't keep up, especially trying to figure out how I was going to take a month or two off when my baby came. I had no one to help, and I was tired of running this Get Ahead Club, and I didn't love it anymore, and I just couldn't keep it up anymore. So the $750 per month was just not worth it when I couldn't grow it. I could not figure out how to grow it. So I failed. That's my first failure, running membership sites. My second failure came to completely overwhelming myself and all of my members. So I restarted our membership sites in April of 2016. We turned Corporate Rescue Plan and Love Your Career Formula into membership sites at $39 per month. So what happened is that I completely overwhelmed myself and all my members when I decided to create these two membership sites. So I've since learned from my mentor, Stu, that there are plenty of different kinds of membership sites that you can create, and you can create one that really fits you the best and what your goals are, what your vision is. Stu talks about the perfect business. What's the perfect business to you? And you can create your membership around that. But when I started creating membership sites, the Get Ahead Club, and then back in April 2016, when I started to create these two membership sites together, I thought there was just one type of membership, the type of membership where you have to publish new content on a weekly or monthly basis for your members. So always giving something new. And I love creating new stuff. So I thought this is perfect for me. And that's really the only type of membership site that I knew of. So that I thought that I had to give like hour-long trainings on a weekly basis and give juicy stuff for my members to stay and feel like they got their money's worth. And here's basically what I was praying and saying, please stay, here's more content, please stay, here's more content. So here's what happens instead of people staying though. The very second that a member gets overwhelmed and feels like they can't do it, they leave. And when you have a membership site, you have to simplify things and only have a little bit each week. So that hour of training is just too much. So my failure when I started these two membership sites last April is that I overwhelmed my members big time. I love to teach, so give me an hour and a video recorder and I will overwhelm you and I will tell you every single thing you need to do. Some of my hour-long trainings probably could have been broken down into 8-week courses. For real, that's how much content I was delivering. So not only was I overwhelming my members, I was overwhelming myself. I couldn't keep up with trying to create new content each week for two membership sites at the same time. Something just had to give. And that's really when you plateau and you don't grow. When you're barely keeping up each week, you can't even take a week off to give yourself a break or work on the actual marketing campaign to launch and grow your membership site because you're just creating content for your members. So I really needed space. And I learned from my mentor, Stu McLaren, that if you're overwhelmed, it means that your members are overwhelmed too. And I was very stressed. I was very overwhelmed. And what I ended up doing after processing this and learning from Stu is I ended up making one of my membership sites automated. And I'll talk about, I'm starting to get into some of the solutions that I have for all these failures. But to give you a sneak peek of what's coming, that's what I ended up doing. I was able to learn that there are different types of membership sites. And one of my membership sites, Love Your Career Formula, was not meant to be this type of new, always bringing new stuff on a weekly basis. And so I changed it and I automated it. And that has made it so much better for myself and for our members, and our retention rates all increased because I stopped giving so much information. Isn't that funny? Like the less work, like once I did less work, our retention rates increased and people enjoyed it more and stayed more. So huge eye opener there. So my third mistake was doing everything myself and being scared to delegate. I think this is a very common mistake for many entrepreneurs. Can anyone do anything better than you? This business is your baby, right? How can you trust someone else to do a good job? Just because I can do everything doesn't mean I should. And this took me a long time to ask for help in growing my membership site and managing my membership site. And most of the reason that first membership site, the Get Ahead Club, had to be stopped was because I couldn't do it all by myself, especially when the community is growing. You really need help to start creating that community, get that community manager, and getting engagement from members. And so my first failures of holding on to everything, I've since hired so many people to help me out now. And guess what? Things work and my membership is growing. And that's what happens when you aren't running around, right? Trying to do everything yourself. That's really a recipe for burnout, for failure, and for disaster. And it's tough, but you can put together a training plan, an operations manual. You can start teaching others everything you know, get interns, get assistants to help you, to free you up so that you can focus on what you do best. And if you've mastered it and it's something now that other people can do, it's time to let go of that and move on. And looking back, in order for that first membership site to succeed, and it totally could have, instead, knowing what I know now, I did not have to close that. I could have made that work. Instead of closing it, I just needed to hire help. I just needed to get other people to help me. So to me, that's even more of a leadership failure, not being able to get the right people on the boat to help me sail it, right? That's what I have done differently now with our 2 membership sites. I have the right people to help me so that I can work on providing as much value as possible to our members. Number 4, my fourth mistake was starting a membership site for myself and not for my members. This is like business 101, right? Doing something for myself instead of what my customers want. So to run a membership site, you have to keep giving your members what they want. But what if you don't even know what they want? Then you're in trouble, like I was. I started a membership site for the passive income. Sounded cool. People said, hey, membership sites are passive income and you get monthly recurring income. That's the dream, right? That would be amazing. So I started a membership site like the next day that I learned about them. Luckily, it worked because we did quickly grow to about 25 members paying $10 per month right when I started. I thought I had made it. It just, unfortunately, never really grew. I started to raise the price a little bit. We got up to $15 a month. I had 50 members, but then it started plateauing, and plateauing is not fun. My mistake was that I started it for me. I thought it would be cool to have this passive income stream. I never was researching my ideal clients. I didn't even know who my ideal client was. And my monthly content was on a large variety of topics. There was no success path taking them to where they wanted to be. And if they didn't like the content I had planned for that next month, they just quit. And that was that. And this was before I split out my trainings into my 2 target markets, which I have now. We have, women who are job searching and we have women who are starting businesses. And those are 2 completely separate markets now. If you want to start a business, you don't want resume tips, right? Well, my first membership site, you got resume tips that you could care less about. It still makes me cringe. And now that we have the 2 separate membership sites, you will join Corporate Rescue Plan if you want to start a business, and Love Your Career Formula if you want job searching and resume tips. It's a lot to have 2. I don't recommend starting 2 at the same time, but the marketing is so much more simple because my customers aren't confused about which membership to join. They're not confused about where they should go. And not only that, but each membership now has a very clear success path leading them to where they are going to be from when they start to where they want to be at the end. It's all laid out, and there's even checklists so that they know what they need to do next. And see how much you can learn from having these failures, right? And I'm going to be talking more about some of the solutions I learned from these failures, but a success path is one, and that's another thing that I learned from Stu. Okay, the last failure was lazy marketing and being too scared and overwhelmed to launch. So there's really no other words to describe this besides lazy marketing. I had no marketing plan. There was no plan with my first membership site to launch throughout that year. It was just open, and I would occasionally blog about it. I would hold teleseminars. No wonder it wouldn't grow, right? You might think this is crazy because you guys all know I love to plan. I have free planners all over the blog. I am a planner. I plan my meals, my workouts, my schedule, my to-do list. But planning my marketing was always icky. I didn't know how to plan my marketing or my launches or any of that. And I also didn't think I liked launching. I actually stopped launching anything for a year because I hated launching, and I made everything evergreen so it was always available. I thought I didn't have the personality to do a big launch that includes the video series and opening and closing the cart. And when I did it previously, I just got so stressed because remember, I was doing the entire launch by myself while also still trying to take care of current members. There was way too many balls in the air. And I've since learned how to launch, and I had a very successful launch in January. We welcomed 70 wonderful new members to Corporate Rescue Plan after we held the 3-part video series of the Freedom Workshop, it was called. Here's another thing. That launch was the most fun I have ever had. I followed exactly the launch model that Stu McLaren teaches, which I'll be telling you more about his free workshop coming up soon as well, so stay tuned. When you have a plan, launches aren't hard. When you create space and time to launch the right way so you aren't stressed and overwhelmed writing emails last minute and creating Facebook ads last minute, you will surpass your goals when this is all planned out. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be fun. So gone are the days of launching something next week. That's what I used to do. Like I would just say, oh, I'm going to do a webinar next week. And I would do a webinar with mediocre results. Everything we do now here at Classy Career Girl and with our launching of our membership sites and our boot camps, everything we do now is carefully planned out. And I'm not scared to launch anymore because launches are super fun now. So we'll be having a lot of more content this month about growing membership sites. So if you're interested, make sure that you do download that free workbook I put together for you about the 6 secrets to growing a successful membership site. And you can download that at www.classycareergirl.com/membership secrets.